One of the things that I have found so useful in my private practice and also for myself is using the word of the day for character development. And character development can be very time-consuming. You're taught to write long written bios about them, know every fact about their lives, and so on and so forth. And I don't really think that that's necessarily the best way to go about it. At least it isn't for me. Because I get tired. I write all this stuff out that I'm not interested in, I'm sort of done. I'm like, okay, I know this. I don't have to look at this. But what I do like to do is I like to see my characters move. And this is one of the primary things that we do with Word of the Day when we're using it for character. So the idea is you put your character's name in the center of the cluster, and then you take some breaths and you relax. Maybe you do your soft hug and you go, I love you and your name. We'll always be together. We'll always be safe. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you just do a couple stretches. And then you take a breath and see your character moving in some way. So I'm going to share a story. And you get there funny ways. We're working on Word of the Day class, and one of my students clustered, words like, middle-aged, pretty, children, and then she clustered the word cheese. That was the last word in her cluster. And she was like, cheese? What does that have to do with the story? But as the Word of the Day works, the next cluster was cheese. That was her last word. And afterwards, when she wrote, what she described was a character who never had time to make herself a decent meal and was always running around with the elements of the food that she wanted, like a cheese or a ham sandwich, and she was always having to eat the pieces separately because she never had time to actually go and put a sandwich together for herself. And I thought that this was a great metaphor because we could extrapolate so many other things from a character that doesn't have time to make her own lunch, because everything is everything, right? As you do one thing, you do everything. So a breakthrough like that, even if you don't actually have a scene in your story about making that, not being able to make that cheese sandwich, it will infuse your ability to write the character and to write dialogue in a way that's hard to get to through just basic writing. It's so much more valuable to try to imagine your characters moving around in space doing things. So this is one of the big uses for the Word of the Day. It's not only more time efficient, it also gets you deeper, and it connects your heart with the character, which is work that very often writers need to do later. And I say, why not start with your heart and your character and tell the story from there? So please join our challenge and look us up on YouTube and other media outlets.